UML diagram allows us to create domain and platform specific stereotypes and define relationships between them. We can create stereotypes by drawing shapes of stereotypes and linking them to composition or generalization through a resource-oriented interface. We can also define and visualize stereotype values. Use case diagram describes the functional requirements of a system in terms of use cases. In essence, it is a model of intended functionality of the system, use cases, and its environment, actors. Use cases allow us to link what we need from the system with how the system meets those needs. Activity diagrams are graphical representations of workflows of stepwise activities and actions with the support of choice, iteration, and concurrency. They describe the control flow of the target system, such as exploring complex business rules and operations, as well as describing the use cases and business processes. In UML, activity diagrams are meant for modeling both computational and organizational processes. State machine diagram is a type of diagram used in UML to describe system behavior, which is based on David Harrell's concept of state diagrams. State machine diagrams depict permitted states and transitions, as well as events that affect those transitions. This diagram helps to visualize the entire life cycle of objects and thus helps to better understand state-based systems. Sequence diagram models the interaction of object based on a time sequence. It shows how objects interact with each other in a particular use case. Similar to sequence diagram, the communication diagram is also used to model the dynamic behavior of a use case. When compared to sequence diagram, communication diagram focuses more on showing object collaborations rather than the time sequence. In fact, communication diagrams and sequence diagrams are semantically equivalent, and one can be generated from another. Interaction overview diagram focuses on the overview of the flow of control of the interactions. This is a variant of activity diagram where the nodes depicted are the interactions or interaction occurrences. Interaction overview diagram describes interactions in which messages and lifelines are hidden. We can link up the real diagrams and achieve a high degree of navigation between diagrams within an interaction overview diagram. Timing diagram shows the behavior of the object or objects at a given time period. In fact, this is a special form of a sequence diagram, and the differences between them are that the axes are swapped so that the time increases from left to right and the lifelines are displayed in separate compartments arranged vertically. So why are there so many diagrams? The reason for this is that this can help to examine the system at different angles, and there can be many participants involved in software development. For example, analysts, architects, coders, testers, quality control, customers, technical authors. These people are all interested in different aspects of the system, and each requires a different level of details. For example, a coder would want to understand the design of the system to be able later to convert this design into some low-level code. In contrast, a technical writer is interested in the behavior of the system as a whole and would want to understand the product's features. UML tries to be a language that all those participants can benefit from and possibly use at least one of its diagrams. Please give this video Emperor's thumbs up, toll the bell and subscribe. That was V. Thank you and goodbye.
ওকে, দেখলাম আমরা